You may have missed its launch, but Outward, the open-world survival RPG from Quebec developer MindDepths, has been tearing up the Steam charts since its launch on March 26th. It's a unique kind of game for a smaller developer to succeed in, borrowing combat mechanics from Dark Souls, while utilizing survival mechanics that have been popular on Steam. To discuss the making of Outward, developer Gamasutra and will be dropping by the DD Twitch channel at 2 p.m. state. That is an hour earlier than the usual broadcast time. If you have got questions about making open-world games with smaller teams, or want to know more about the company's promises to improve quality of life for its employees, drop by the DD Twitch channel and ask your questions in Twitch chat. And for more developer interviews, be sure to follow the DD Twitch channel, Newsbrief. So he has rolled out his pay-for-access streaming and downloadable game catalog to 7 more countries across Europe. The expansion follows a beta that launched in those same countries earlier this year and opens the service up to PlayStation users in Italy, Spain, Portugal, Finland, Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. Originally launched as a streaming service, PlayStation now offers a library of PS4, PS3, and PS2 games that can be either downloaded to a subscriber's PlayStation 4 system or played as streaming games from their PS4 or PC. With today's expansion, the service is now available in 19 countries. Creating the X Adaptive Controller required the Microsoft Devices team to re-examine their own practices and ultimately challenge their biases and assumptions to embrace more inclusive design. In this talk from DD 2019, Bryce Johnson, Incorporated Lucive led Microsoft Devices, and Aaron Mustafish, occupational therapist, Creed Hospital, discuss the process of designing the X Adaptive Controller and how doing so required them to rethink how they designed and engineered controllers. Altogether, the talk offers game developers advice on how to apply those same principles to their own projects, like how to recognize when a design excludes people with limited mobility, and how to design control schemes and input with accessibility in mind. In addition to this presentation, THEGDC Vault and its accompanying YouTube channel offers numerous other free videos, audio recordings, and slides from many of the recent game developers conference events. And the service offers even more members-only content for DD Vault subscribers. Those who purchased all access passes to recent events, like DD, would already have full access to DD Vault, and interested parties can apply for the individual subscription via a DD Vault subscription page. Group subscriptions are also available. Game-related schools and development studios who sign up for DD Vault Studio subscriptions can receive access for their entire office, accompanied by contacting staff via THEGDC Vault Group subscription page. Finally, current subscribers with access issues can contact DD Vault technical support. Over the weekend, Valve published a blog detailing the top controller-friendly games on Steam for 2018, and the analysis includes the data to help players find games they might enjoy most with the kind of controller they own. This guide could be useful for developers interested in seeing what area of game was most compatible for different controllers, including the PlayStation, X, Nintendo Switch Pro, and Steam controllers. For every controller, each guide is broken down into 3 sections: most popular, most unique, and local multiplayer. Each section starts off by highlighting the 50 games most popular with that controller, with Valve looking at the number of minutes played in each game with each type of controller. After doing some more math, Valve generated a list of generally popular games that also have good controller support for each kind of controller. Interestingly enough, many of the most popular games show up as played a lot with all controller types. The most unique games by controller provide some pretty interesting info in regards to what types of games players gravitated to the most. For example, PlayStation controllers were the choice for fighting games, with Soul Calibur 6, BlazBlue, Cross Tag Battle and Street Fighter V making the list. X-controller owners seem to prefer open-world games, with titles like Just Cause 3, Saints Row 4, Skyrim and Mafia 3 among the list of games that are most unique to the device. As explained in the blog, Valve speculates that the preferences point to both a difference in demographics between owners of the respective controllers and the differing level of support for specific controllers between games. Interested developers can check out the lists here. 93 more games have been approved by the Online Games Ethics Committee of China, signaling the third wave of media authorized by the country's gaming regulator since December 2018. Once again, the list of approved titles seems to exclude any releases from Chinese tech giants Tencent and NetEase. This comes a few weeks after Chinese regulators began reviewing games submitted under license consideration in China, moving forward to the licensing freeze that had halted game approvals for the majority of 2018. As the South China Morning Post reports, license approvals are reportedly granted in the order they are received, so it could be likely that games from Tencent and NetEase are still on a waiting list. Overall, license approvals are faster and bigger in number than market expectation. So Qiang Wenjing and Dao Baoan, analysts with Shanghai-based R&D Securities, in a research note, we are certain that the industry is turning positive. The analysts also said that the latest round of license approvals include titles submitted for reviews in April last year. As of right now, there's no telling if games from either Tencent or NetEase will be included in the next round of approvals. But there is no doubt that the freeze has continued to negatively impact both companies. Epic Games introduced the block Showcase area in its Battle Royale map to Fortnite back in 2018 as an in-game way to highlight the exemplary community creations made with the game's annual creative mode. But one featured build has been pulled from the showcase after users found some questionable content in one room. It's a very slight bump in the road for Epic's push for more user-created content in its still mega popular game Fortnite, and a reminder to other devs of the additional moderation needed when features that highlight user-made content are brought into the mix. As spotted by Polygon, the mysterious mention submission was removed shortly after it showed up in the showcase space and replaced with an older submission. That flop came after a Reddit user pointed out that an overturned chair and hanging rope in the basement of the mansion seemed to depict the scene of a suicide. In an earlier version of the map, shared by its creator Furyblix on Twitter, the setup included a character model attached to the rope, but the version that briefly showed up on the blog depicted only the rope and overturned chair. Epic has not made any sort of comment on this specific removal, though Furyblix shared what they say is a conversation with an Epic dev on Twitter about the map. Newsbrief. Disruptor Beam, the mobile game developer behind the likes of Game of Thrones Ascent and Star Trek Timelines, has announced that it will be commercializing a live operations platform it calls the Disruptor Engine. It's only lightly mentioned in a recent press release from the company, but one that will see the Disruptor engine tools opened up for the use of external developers. Though the studio has yet to offer information on pricing or a timeline on its release quite yet, Disruptor Beam describes the tool as a platform for operating live mobile games, and says that it offers devs a way to pursue more efficient development and monetization through the platform's commerce, identity, social, analytics, and live operations capabilities. Over the past several years, Disruptor Beam has made substantial investments in our game platform, which has led to dramatic improvements in our time to market and ability to operate games profitably.